Well, earlier this week, we got the really, really bad news that Just for Laughs would be seeking creditor protection and that they would be canceling this year's festival. The organization says they intend on continuing operations, but this year, if they do anything, it will be scaled back in a much smaller format, and we find out the financial situation and just how much they owed creditors quite dire. Now, many are sad to see the troubles this iconic festival are going through. Again, it gets visitors from around the world to come here every single year. So questions are being asked. How do we keep comedy alive in Montreal while Just for Laughs goes through these tough times? One Montrealer has an idea or two. Eva Alexopoulos joins us now, comedian, host, and creator of Kickback, Canada's #1 comedy party. Hi, Eva.
Hi.
What is a comedy party? What is that? Because to me, it's just they're comedy shows. You just go, it's a comedy show. Mm-hmm. What's a comedy party?
Comedy party is an experience. So when I started this 4 years ago now, mm-hmm. I saw the normal structure of a comedy show, and it was just, there's a standard, there's a host, they bring them up, you clap, you not. But I wanted to create something that brought two very important aspects of Montreal together, which is music and comedy. We're such a festival city in total. So I wanted people to come to a show and feel like they were part of a community. And so, you're Greek, I'm Greek. So what we do is we buy everybody a shot on us. Okay. And then 200 people take it at the same time. And that's how we break the ice.
Jeez, and Lord knows comedians need a little bit more alcohol in their lives. Okay, so Eva, let's talk about the news this week. Mm-hmm. When you heard the bad news, what was your reaction?
I was not surprised.
Not surprised?
I wasn't.
Why?
Because... as a producer, as someone, I've worked in social media and marketing for over 10 years as my day job, apart from being a comedian. There's certain things that you notice in terms of markets, in terms of consumers. And I really do believe that the power Just for Laughs had for so many years was because they were the pickers and choosers of who was going to make it, who was going to be the next breakthrough stars. Yep. And they really had a monopoly and a control over that. Mm-hmm. So people like me, for example, who started 8 years ago, a big part of a comedian's track record and career is hoping that one day they're going to get on the Just for Laughs festival, which was also mine. And
you were just part of Just for Laughs Vancouver. They just did, this escaped me. Just for Laughs just did a festival in Vancouver.
Yeah, I just got back from Just for Laughs Vancouver filming New Wave of Canada. So they choose the top 10 comedians in Canada. Mm-hmm. And then we film a special out in Vancouver. And it was such a beautiful experience. That's the thing, is that I know a lot of people are saying negative things about Just for Laughs. And it's so easy to just right away go make fun of something. Mm-hmm. And of course, mistakes were made. That's for sure. But at the same time, that festival gave a lot of people hope to be a comedian so that one day they could get on this festival, and it made them aspire to work harder every year. So for a lot of us, it is sad to see it go because, it's Montreal. We're really proud of it. And for a lot of the locals during the summer, there's ZooFest. So if you're a local producer, you can produce with ZooFest and off JFL and get your credit. And to see that kind of go really sucks. However, at the same time, there's a whole new avenue now of grants that comedians can apply for. There's an opportunity now to not be overshadowed by Americans, not be overshadowed by, the pizzazz, and for people to actually discover who's in their city. And that's really what I think the issue is.
So, okay, I'm happy you brought that up because there's two facets of having the world's biggest comedy festival in this city, right?
Yeah.
So the focus on comedy is your city for 2 weeks. The whole world is focused on Montreal for comedy. Mm-hmm. That's a good thing. But on the other side, Just for Laughs is bringing in comedians, New York, Los Angeles, Australia, Europe, UK, everyone's coming here. And if you're bringing everyone from around the world, I've heard it from local comedians. They feel that Just for Laughs would give them the shaft during those 2 weeks because they're focused on the talent from around the world. Yeah. Right? So are you saying that maybe this presents an opportunity this year for locals, people like you that put on events, to take advantage of Just for Laughs not doing its normal thing And that you could present something that puts the onus, the emphasis on locals?
Yeah. And I think discoverability has been the biggest issue in Montreal, right? It's not that people don't want to go to comedy. They just don't know where to go, right? They're like, oh, okay, we have the Comedy Nest. We have one English club here.
Yeah.
But Montreal comedians, especially the English, and don't get it twisted, the French and the English on both sides get along very well. Whenever an English comic wants to go over to the French side and try French comedy at their clubs, they welcome us with open arms. They encourage us to try new things. Like, I've had one set in French that didn't go great, and they were like, that was fantastic. Just try it in English, you know?
Yeah.
So the issue was the big dog, you know? And what's funny is that the French and the English comedy scene in Montreal are two completely different worlds. You can make millions of dollars. Montreal, for the French, in general, if you speak French and you are a French comedian anywhere in the world, Montreal is New York and LA for them.
Yeah.
You can make $70 at an open mic. On the English side, because there is no funding, because we're barely recognized as an art, what the English side has is grit. So we're all independent producers. There's all a bunch of different collectives, but we were never really given the spotlight or the emphasis through Just for Laughs since it was a Montreal-based festival.
Yeah.
There wasn't this ongoing thing happening all year of like, here are your local artists you can go support. So we did it ourselves.
Are you going to do something like this summer? Are people already talking about filling that void? And are you thinking about doing something to fill the void that Just for Laughs is leaving here?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
That's the thing that makes Montreal so beautiful and such a resilient city. What I actually think is going to happen, a lot of people are like, oh my God, you know, comedy's dead. No. Absolutely not. Comedy in Montreal is so resilient. The people here have grit, and we're spoiled with entertainment. And, you know, the second the news came out, I got a bunch of calls from other producers. And that's the thing. People are going to come together now because the competition has been, in some sense, eliminated. Next, you have the Just for Laughs showcases. So all the independent producers in Montreal are fighting like cats and dogs to get this power, right? To be the ones who choose, who gets to audition for Just for Laughs, as if we're going to get anything at all. It's gone now.
And just on being discovered, right? And you're right. In the past, there were gatekeepers, right? You need to get to JFL because that's where all the American TV networks would show up. So that was your place. Now I imagine if you've got to be running on your Instagram and your TikTok and that's where you're doing your comedy for new crowds to be discovered, right? So that's changed everything, I would imagine.
Well, I think in general, TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, all of these online platforms took a lot of power away from these organizations because what happens is these comics don't need you anymore. And you're not paying them as much as they're making on TikTok for doing a brownie video. Like, people make so much money online now that Just for Laughs even coming to them, it's a non-for-profit. So they really only do have a certain amount they can give. And like I said, mistakes were obviously made, but it is important to keep in mind that peers and people lost their jobs. And like, I want to be sensitive to that because those were my friends, you know, and it's sad. And those people worked really hard, and they worked really hard last year to make the festival special. But luckily for Montreal, the love that we have for our city is not going anywhere.
Do you think, like for you, you've got Kickback, right?
Yeah.
That's your comedy party. But do you think whether it's you or someone else, like you running, hey, next, you know what, in July, let's do 1 week of a Kickback festival? Or is it going to be someone else? Do you think that's going to happen where we will have a festival, not from Just for Laughs, but someone else this summer?
Yeah, 100%. And it's going to be the real Montreal experience, which is what I think the festival was lacking, which is something we were saying a lot. You know, like Montreal, there's so much, we're a main character city. Everyone is
the main character.
We're a main character city. We're spoiled with food. We're spoiled with festivals. So you better be bringing something good here. And that's why American franchises never last. Our restaurants are too good. Our festivals are too good. Our taste in everything is too good. And, you know, Just for Laughs is gone, but the English comedy scene has always been around. And there's the queer scene. There's, you know, the edgy scene. There's my scene. There's hundreds of collectives that exist. That the issue was people in Montreal just didn't know where to go. I made one TikTok that said, hey, I throw a secret comedy party at Satay Brothers every Thursday. I had like 200,000 views of people commenting, being like, I had no idea there was comedy in Montreal.
You've brought up a very good point, why Taco Bell and Red Lobster just don't do well here, which I really appreciate. Eva, thanks so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
And I hope the laughs come this summer. If it's
they're
not just
coming.
laughs from you and others.
Yeah.
Eva Alexopoulos, comedian, host, and creator of Kickback, Canada's #1 comedy party.